Hello, I'm sitting here with Shaila Shahid.
Yes,
I'd like to quickly introduce what you are representing here at the conference.
I'm Shaila Shahid. I'm from Bangladesh. I'm representing here the Women and Gender Constituency, but I'm also from the organization that is named the Gender and Voter Alliance, which is a Dutch-based secretariat, but it has also its office in Bangladesh, where I look after the Bangladesh Gender and Voter Program. And yeah.
So, like earlier today, there was this workshop on gender and climate change. Would you like to just briefly introduce us to this workshop?
Yeah, that's very interesting because you might be hearing about the Lima work program on gender that was earlier agreed by the Conference of Parties in Lima, that they are going to follow up with certain mechanisms in relation to gender aspects and how they are going to implement those in cooperation with the Conference of Parties. And then they proposed a number of workshops to be held in support of the parties. So that was the basis, but this was targeted for 2 years program. So these somehow going to be finished by this year. And in Marrakesh, we are also looking forward for kind of further action plan to strengthen the gender aspects within the COP and Paris Agreement that we need to take forward to Marrakesh. So it was basically to providing gender and policy level inputs in the Paris Agreement, also from the global level, and at the same time to bridge the linkages at the national level. And at the same time also number of focus on the capacity building aspects, because at the national level there is certain gaps and gaps in terms of capacity, skills development and the implementation part, and also gaps in knowledge and information. So how the Secretariat can extend their support for strengthening these aspects and somehow to push the implementation part. So that was the key focus of the workshop.
Okay, cool. And like, have there been any specific outcomes so far? Are you going to continue on the work, or is it done?
Yeah, definitely this workshop came out with a certain outcome, and the workshop actually had a number of presentations, but at the same time the workshop was divided into 4 thematic groups to have group work from the state parties, and also with the participation of the number of INGOs who are very active in this sector on gender issues, and also the gender experts from globally and civil society. So the group work basically it was divided on 4 areas. One was how the parties' participation can be strengthened, and from the civil society aspects, how the implementation can be implemented properly, and there was also what kind of gender inputs can be the role can be played by the UNFCCC Secretariat and within the UN mechanism kind of gender issues. And also another was the financing part of climate, the gender finance within the climate regime. So these were the key 4 thematic areas, and from there some specific recommendations came out. I can particularly mention something about one of the proposals that we can have a strong reporting mechanism within the gender, because most of the time gender is a cross-cutting issues, but now all the state parties, and there is not that much proper explanation what actually means by cross-cutting issues, and sometimes most of the time it is somehow forgotten by the parties, because cross-cutting is nothing means it's not that much specific, but within the UNFCCC system, if there can be a proper reporting mechanism, and that can be done biannually with the participation of the state parties. And also there was another proposal, a systematic implementation of capacity building and a process how this can be integrated within the formal process of implementation, not only within the policy, because within the policy actually this gender mainstreaming, gender terms doesn't only mean that automatically gender is going to be mainstream. And another proposal was that to identify some of the hot spot from gender context, that where these gender issues and deprivation and different impacts on gender, climate change impacts on gender, those are very critical. So globally, if we can identify different kind of hotspots and specific issues where certain address is required, attention is required. So these actually the main outcome from the workshop.
Wow, it sounds like at least great results already. So, like for one who's not too informed about this issue, even though it's very important, how has gender questions evolved within this framework of the UNFCCC? Have we seen like progress? Right now we have 65 parties mentioning gender in their nationally determined contributions. Is that a good number compared to our history?
No, definitely not. This is not a good number, but we are expecting that number of parties, the number is increasing, and we are also somehow following the negotiation part and. For example, EU, the integrated group, and Australia, they put particular emphasis and stress to strengthen these gender aspects within this Paris Agreement and implementation part. But not all the countries are equally aware of the whole situation because it's not mandatory. Any kind of provision on gender aspects, but it is somehow to encourage the government. But really we are expecting that after the Lima work program, we look forward for the Marrakesh that it should definitely come up with some concrete plan of action so that we can start implementing those, because only providing nice words and nice commitment, that's definitely not going to work. So we believe that we had some kind of homework that has been done and things are progressing. That's a positive notion, but only the things have started rolling out. So there are a long way to go, and there are lots of issues that we need to address in terms of bringing gender equality within the climate justice.
Thank you for those answers, Shaila.
Thank you.